we have about 9.6% of the calls that are in total going to Victoria Police Department. Now we are paying 14% of the police budget, and yet we're generating only 9% of the calls, and we know that crime overall is reducing, and that's across the country.
Many of the statistics are higher. And let me just draw some examples. Arson, while we don't have a lot of them, about 30% of the arsons we investigated took place in Esquimalt. Youth offenses, where we involve with youth, about 28% in Esquimalt. Abandoned vehicles are high. Suicide or mental health calls, 20% of our calls take place in Esquimalt.
The overall numbers are we're at 9.3% of the calls. So, and it was interesting that the police identified the ones that were higher, but didn't give us an indication of which ones were lower.
As I mentioned in council, we're in the service business. Like policing, that's what we do. We provide the service to the people who pay the freight, and Esquimalt pays for policing based on a formula that was devised in 2002 when their police service was disbanded.
Each year over the last 4 years, we've had a 3% increase to our police budget. We don't have any we don't have a patrol stationed out of Esquimalt. So patrols have to come from downtown, and so that's one of the things that maybe we need to look at as to whether we should have a designated patrol.
What we hear from Esquimalt citizens in the past is they don't see the frequency of patrols as often as they did perhaps under their own service prior to 2002, and we're trying our best to fix that to ensure the officers are lots of patrolling, so they'll see the cruisers and the officers become much more visible. But it's an ongoing point of discussion.
We have some services being carried on out of our office in Esquimalt, but basically they are occurring 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. But we do have options, and one of the options is that we could look at the RCMP. Another model that is out there is the one that Oak Bay and Saanich have, where Oak Bay contracts with Saanich.
My role here is pretty simple. I'm going to ensure we deliver the best quality service possible. If Esquimalt was ever to make the case that they want to try something different, then I would fight hard to keep the privilege of policing this great community. I don't want to give this up. We think we can do as good or better a job than anybody else at doing this. I've been involved in municipal policing and with the RCMP a long time, and the quality of the product they get is good. They just want more of it.
We are trying to work as a responsible community to, one, ensure that our residents get the best value for their dollar, two, that they are not spending more dollars than they can afford.